With over 450 players in the NBA, it's easy to understand how some of them can be forgotten. I've dug deep into the NBA rosters and found 10 players you probably didn't know still played in the NBA. I was shocked to find certain players are still playing after not hearing anything about them in years. And before you go and roast my list of players in the comments, just know that you might have heard from these players recently, but I haven't heard from them in years. So let's get started. An honorable mention is Mike Miller. He's an honorable mention because he was recently waived by the Denver Nuggets, so he's technically still not in the NBA. And I didn't even realize he played for them for an entire season. But he was most popular for playing on the Orlando Magic from 2000 to 2003 and on the Miami Heat from 2010 to 2013. He played for the Cavs for the 2014 and 15 season, but I haven't heard from him since then. Number 1. Jameer Nelson. Jameer is also currently a member of the Denver Nuggets, which was surprising to find out. He's most popular for his time on the Orlando Magic playing with Dwight Howard. Since then, he's played on the Mavs, Celtics, and now the Nuggets, with play that has made it easy to forget he was even in the league. He hasn't really been heard from since his days in Orlando. He's 35 years old, so he probably won't be heard from again until he signs with a super team or is on his way out of the league. Number 2. Udonis Haslam. For the past 14 years, Haslam has only played for the Miami Heat. He's always been a role player and was most noticed in the 2006 championship season with Dwayne Wade and the 2010-13 stint of LeBron in Miami. I haven't heard his name come up since the Heat lost to the Spurs in the 2013 NBA Finals. It was surprising to find out he was still playing because it had been several years since I last heard his name. He's 37 years old now, so he only has a few years left in him. Number 3. Joel Anthony. The 2010-13 run of the Miami Heat put a lot of eyes on the role players. This was the case for Joel as well. He played for Miami from 2007 to 14 as their backup center. He was a decent shot blocker and rim protector. Anthony was one of the more surprising names to find still in the NBA. Since Miami, he's played on the Celtics, Pistons, and now the San Antonio Spurs. He's only played 109 games since leaving Miami in 2014 and has yet to have a season averaging over 2 points per game since then. It's easy to realize why it was easy to forget he was still in the NBA. Number 4. Metta World Peace. Besides punching multiple fans in the face and elbowing James Harden's head off of his shoulders, Ron Artest is most memorable for playing on the Indiana Pacers and being a great role player, helping the Lakers and Kobe Bryant win multiple NBA championships. He's always been known as a great defender and a decent three-point shooter, with a little bit of a crazy side. He played for the Pacers between 2002 and 2006, and for the Lakers between 2009 and 13. Since 2013, he's played for the New York Knicks and played in China and Italy, before returning to the Lakers in 2015. I heard about his return when it was happening, but forgot all about him since he didn't make any noise after returning and only averaged 3 points per game since then. Number 5. Sasha Vujacic. Vujacic is another former member of a Lakers championship team that went off to play overseas before returning in 2015. He returned to the New York Knicks. I remember hearing about this one too when it was announced, but I haven't heard anything from him since then. In his stint with the Lakers, he backed up Kobe Bryant, and although he won 2 NBA championships with them, he only averaged 4 points as a Laker. Since his return to the Knicks, he's gone back to his old ways, as he's only averaged 4 points with them over 2 seasons. Number 6. Nick Collison. Collison might be one that's obvious to many other fans, but the last time I heard his name was when the Thunder played Miami in the 2013 NBA Finals, where he backed up Serge Ibaka. Collison's played his entire 13-year career with the Thunder organization. The 2016 and 17 season was by far his worst and least memorable year because he only played 20 games with an average of 1.7 points per game, going pretty much unnoticed. It's not that hard to forget a player with those stats. Number 7. Norris Cole. Norris Cole is once again another member of the Miami Heat who won 2 NBA championships between 2011 and 13. He won championships with them in his first 2 years in the league, and was an impressive defensive backup point guard to Mario Chalmers. He made a big difference on the team and even started several games for Miami. Norris stayed on the Heat until 2015, where he was traded to the Pelicans. He played in China for 2016 and is recently signed with the Oklahoma City Thunder. I was surprised to hear his name again after several years, and even more surprised to find out he now played on the Thunder. Hopefully he can be a good backup to Westbrook. Number 8. Brandon Bass. If you kept up with the Boston Celtics since their Big Four run, then you're probably familiar with Brandon Bass, who was the backup power forward for Kevin Garnett. He's played on 6 different NBA teams, most popular for his time on the Celtics. He was traded to the Celtics for Glenn Davis. He left the Celtics in 2015 and has been on the Lakers and Clippers since then, and hasn't made really any noise in the NBA. I forgot about him being in the NBA, and only remembered when I looked at the current Clippers roster. Number 9. Randy Foye. Randy Foye has played 12 seasons in the NBA and is currently signed with the Brooklyn Nets. His most notable time in the league was on the Minnesota Timberwolves in 2008 and 9 when he averaged 16 points per game, and also for his time on the Clippers as a starter before Chris Paul came, then later backing him up. Since the Clippers, he's played on the Utah Jazz, Denver Nuggets, Oklahoma City Thunder, which was the last I heard of his name, and in 2016 and 17 for the Brooklyn Nets. It seems that when most of these players go away to Denver, they're easily forgotten. Number 10. Jason Terry. Jason Terry is one of the more popular names on the list. His most popular time in the NBA was as a sixth man for the title-winning Dallas Mavericks in 2011. He also won Sixth Man of the Year in 2009 with them. He's a great role player and shooter, but since leaving the Mavericks in 2012, he's played for 4 different NBA teams, most recently playing on the Milwaukee Bucks for the 2016 and 17 season. He played 18 minutes per game in the 2016 and 17 season and only averaged 4 points per game. Since going to Milwaukee, he hasn't had many highlights or big games, leaving him easily to be forgotten. The Bucks aren't a team that many people go out of their way to watch anyways, so that doesn't help his case either.